Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. So for those of you who are new, my name is Mira. I'm a senior studying film and TV at Boston University, and since it's my last year at BU, I thought I'd make a video listing all the reasons why I love it so much. Before we get started though, I just want to say a huge thank you to Gift Pocket for sponsoring today's video. So for those of you who might not know, Gift Pocket is an app that allows you to store gift cards all in one place on your phone, send gift cards to your friends and family, and you can even swap in gift cards you don't want for the gift cards that you do. And as an added bonus for today, if you download the app using my code Mira, you'll automatically receive a free $5 gift card to Chipotle, another one of my favorite places to eat around campus. But with that, let's get started. Alright, so starting off with number one, the professors at BU are genuinely experts in their industries and their fields. So I could really say this about any of the professors at BU, but to give you some concrete examples from my major, I have a professor who has done a lot of stand-up comedy and has been on television for it. I have a professor who has written for Disney Channel, like he wrote Sweet Life of Zack and Cody and Jessie, things like that. I have a professor who was a producer for American Idol at one point. I have a professor who did sound work for big shows like Frontline, Nova, or even feature films like American Hustle. The list goes on and on. And these professors are incredibly sought after, and you can tell because they're teaching at various places in Boston. So for example, I have a professor who teaches at BU and she also teaches at Emerson, or I have another professor who teaches at BU and he also teaches at Harvard occasionally. So it's just really cool to be surrounded by these instructors that know so much about the topics that they're teaching and really kind of like absorb all of that wisdom from them. Number two is that the professors at BU are genuinely so supportive of their students. And what I mean by this is that they're obviously great instructors in class, but you can just see how much they care about their students outside of class. So they're always reminding us to come to their office hours, get to know them better, come with any questions we have about homework, about the lesson, or even if we just want them to see side projects that we're working on. And I don't know, I just feel like I've been so lucky to have these professors because they've shown like so much support and so much investment in my success. And I think this is especially true because so much of my college experience happened during the pandemic when I was at home taking classes remotely, and I know that when it first started, I really thought that these classes are going to be terrible, like it's online, like what am I going to get out of it, this and that. But honestly, looking back, like some of my favorite classes I've taken at BU are genuinely the ones that happened online, even through such a terrible circumstance. Like the professors worked so hard to make classes still engaging, to check in on us. And one of my professors was like, hey, if you guys ever need anything, like this is a really difficult time we're all going through right now, feel free to like Zoom with me separately, email me, text me, whatever's easiest. And they would just look out for us. Anyway, that was a long-winded way to say that I love the professors at BU. I think they are so supportive of their students and you really do learn a lot from them. Number three is that it's really easy to change your major, do a dual degree, or add a minor. And I honestly think that this is one of the best things about BU. They are so flexible about what major you choose so that even if you are someone who enters undeclared, you have time to kind of scope things out before having to declare a major, or if you're someone that declared a major, you can totally change it. I have friends who have changed their majors multiple times or even switched within, like in and out of different schools at BU. So it's totally possible. And not only that, but BU is such a big school that we have so many different majors and so many different programs. So if you're someone that feels like, oh my gosh, like I don't really know what I want to do with my life, I feel like BU is a really great place because you can come into BU not having a clue what you want to do and kind of look at different classes and shop around until you find a major that you really love. Number four is that there are loads of internship opportunities. So being in Boston essentially means that there are opportunities around every corner. It's just one of the things that comes with living in a city. So for example, like if you're a pre-med student, there's so many hospitals and kind of medical centers around Boston that you can shadow at or volunteer at. If you're a film student like me, there's so many places where you can kind of work on production or filming. One, movies just come into Boston all the time. Like literally Zendaya was walking on Newberry Street not even 20 minutes from my apartment because she's filming a movie here. So if you want a PA or extra on set, Boston's a really great place for that. And also, for example, there's also like production hubs in a sense. Boston is really big for documentary production. And also my first internship was at WGBH, now known as GBH, I believe. And they're the studio that produced the kid shows like Arthur, Pinkalicious, Martha Speaks, and also does shows like Antique Roadshow, Nova, Frontline, and things like that. All right, so number 5 is one that I am super excited to talk about, and that is BU's Entrepreneurship Center, which is called the Build Lab. So essentially, the Build Lab is a incubator. It's a free campus resource for students who want to go and develop maybe a product idea or a business venture idea, and they are there to help you. The really cool thing about the Build Lab is they are all about helping students develop entrepreneurship skills, learning how to start and manage their own business, and they do not take a cut of your work. So even if you go and use all their resources, you talk to the staff, you go to office hours, whatnot, you fully own the rights to your business venture and your work. They are literally just there to help you. And even if you're someone who feels like, oh, I'm not very business savvy, or I don't know the first thing about entrepreneurship, that's totally fine. Just go to the Build Lab and start checking out some of their workshops, or just, kind of say hi to the staff, get to know them. And even if you're very, very intimidated, please, I'm begging, just go and study there and kind of get familiar with the space. I didn't know anything about entrepreneurship or business, and when I went to the Build Lab, I learned so much. It is such a fun space to be in, and it is genuinely one of my favorite places on campus. All right, so number 6 is that BU has amazing green spaces. And so as someone who is from upstate New York, being around some amount of greenery and nature is very, very important to me. And when I was looking at schools in the city, that was something I was a little bit nervous about. Like, for example, New York City, if I went to school there, it'd be much closer to my hometown since it's only 3 hours away instead of 6 hours away like Boston is. But I just felt like New York was a little bit, for me personally, too big of a city. I knew I wanted something a little bit smaller, maybe a little more welcoming. And so when I got to BU's campus, I realized, wow, like it's right next to the city, but the campus has so many nice green spaces, whether it's like the huge Comm Lawn outside of the College of Communications, or Amory Park in West Campus, or especially the Charles River Esplanade. It is such a nice walk, especially now that the weather's nicer. I'm so excited to go and start picnicking there and walking there again. But my point is, there's just a lot of nice green spaces, and it's kind of nice to have that when you do live in such a bustling city, to have those spaces where you can kind of relax and unwind and hang out with your friends. Number 7 is that you get to meet people from all over the country and all over the world. So growing up, my high school was not very diverse. I was one of the few people of color in my high school. I was one of the few people I knew that grew up bilingual or even trilingual. So knowing all of that and kind of having that high school experience, I knew that I wanted to go to a university that had more diversity and had people from different backgrounds. And I've met so many incredible people here from all areas of the world and the country. Like I was saying, for example, like within the United States, I have friends who are from New York like me. I have friends who are from Minnesota. I have friends who are from Florida, from California, from Washington State, from Texas, from Puerto Rico. Like, I have just been able to meet so many people, and getting to hear all their experiences is amazing. And of course, I've met people from India, I've met people from Turkey, I've met people from Germany, I've met people from Japan, Korea, China, like Nepal. The list just goes on and on. So I just think that it's so important to be able to put yourself in an environment where you get to meet people with all kinds of different backgrounds and stories, and just hear about their lives and where they're come from. So for me, that's like one of the reasons I did choose BU. It was way more diverse than the place that I grew up in. So yeah. Number 8 is that everyone is so excited to meet new people and make new friends. And I so seriously mean that. I am being so genuine when I make that statement, because literally almost every single person I've met at BU has been so warm and welcoming and kind and friendly. And I'm talking like, even if you meet someone at BU, like literally just once or twice, they will already be like, oh my gosh, hey, like we should go get coffee sometimes, or we should go get lunch sometime, or hey, my friends and I are actually going to XYZ place tonight. If you want to come, like you should definitely come. Everyone is just so friendly and open and just excited to meet new people. And of course, I understand that I might be a little bit biased, because I do consider myself to be a very extroverted and outgoing person, and I feel like I probably naturally gravitate towards those kinds of people as well. But honestly, people at BU are so friendly. Even people who are introverted, maybe more shy, everyone's always super nice and always down to make new friends and meet people. So if you're someone who is like very outgoing, or even if you're not, but you do like meeting new people, I think BU is a great community for you. Number 9 is that BU has a lot of different housing options. So this means that there's a type of housing for everyone, no matter what your preference is. At least that's my personal opinion. For example, if you want kind of that traditional rah-rah college feel your freshman year, you can opt to live in one of the huge kind of traditional dorms, either in West Campus or in Central Campus. If you're someone who really likes kind of like the pretty artsy feel of Boston, there's always the brownstones on Bay State Road, which are really gorgeous. If you're someone who wants a more maybe quiet residential feel, South Campus is great for that, and there's both apartment style housing and dorm style housing. If you're someone that wants a little more glitz and glamour, we have kind of like the high-rise housing apartments in West Campus, or actually they're apartments and dorms, but they're like very tall, so you have gorgeous views of Boston both during the day and night. So even if you're kind of not sure what type of housing you want, there's kind of different areas to explore. And if you're not a fan of on-campus housing, you're always allowed to move off campus in apartments, either in the south kind of campus area, still on Bay State Road, or a lot of students also opt to live in Alston. Number 10 is that there are so many different cultural things to do in the city. And I feel like this kind of goes back to my earlier point about BU having students from all over the world, but the same can be said about the people in Boston. So whether it means a music festival or a dance performance or just a restaurant or various restaurants from different cultures in different areas of Boston, like Chinatown, for example, there's always something new to discover. There's always something new to try. And honestly, now that I'm thinking about it, BU itself, even if you were to stay on campus and not even go into the city, BU has so many different cultural clubs and student organizations that host those kinds of things. So for example, BU JSA, or the Japanese Student Association, which I'm a part of, they're always hosting really fun and different events like Japanese game nights or sushi formal, or upcoming they're going to have Omatsuri, which is a Japanese festival basically. So if you're someone that is really interested in exploring different cultures or trying new things, I think BU and Boston in general is a really great place for that. Number 11 is free museum access. And now this is genuinely one of my favorite parts about being a BU student, because I just love the museums in Boston. I think they are so stunning, so gorgeous, so well curated. And like I said, you get free, literally free admission to the museum as long as you have your BU ID with you. And so this will get you into a few major museums in the city, like the MFA, the Museum of Fine Arts, the ICA, the Institute of Contemporary Art, or the Isabel Stewart Gardner Museum, which is absolutely gorgeous and I highly recommend you go. But I've gone to all of these museums multiple amounts of times, either by myself or with my friends, like literally just to show you how much I love it. Like on my 21st birthday, my friend and I literally went to the ICA Watershed, which is like a warehouse exhibit extension of the Institute of Contemporary Art. And I was so excited to go because it's an exhibit that I was waiting to see. It was stunning. It was gorgeous. Or even another time, actually, a separate time I went to the ICA, I took some of my freshman mentees with me. And honestly, some random coincidence, Kevin Hart was there filming one of his latest movies at the time. So we were literally like 20 feet away from him, like while he was like filming, and we were like looking at the artwork. So always fun stuff happening like that in Boston. But if you're someone who is a big fan of museums or art museums specifically, I think you will love living in the city. Number 12 is that BU has an endless amount of extracurriculars. So essentially BU has over 450 student organizations on campus, and we legitimately have everything you can think of. We have Greek life, we have music orgs, we have cultural clubs, we have volunteer orgs, the list just goes on and on and on. And on the very, very, very unlikely chance that you don't find something that you like or don't find something that fits your interests, you can always start your own club or group. Literally just this past semester, a group of my friends, we started our own a cappella group on campus, and we actually got approved to be funded. So this semester has been such a blast. I legitimately love everyone in this group so much. We're having such a good time. So again, if you're someone who loves to stay busy and wants to find interesting, fun things to do, BU is a great place for that, because there is actually a club for everything you could possibly want. And on that note, number 13, one of the reasons I love BU so much is that there are so many opportunities to do music related things, even if you are not a music major. So for example, we have orchestra, we have jazz band, we have a cappella, we have choir, we have musicals, we have plays, we have dance cover groups. The list just kind of goes on and on. And the reason I'm mentioning this is because when I was in high school, I was such a musical person. I did every musical group you could think of. But when it came time to go to college, I realized that I don't think studying music would be a good fit for me. So I ultimately decided not to major in music. And I just feel like there's so many other students out there, whether it's BU or elsewhere, that are very musical or love music but decide not to pursue it as a career. And I think it's cool that at BU there's so many opportunities for students who are not music majors, so they can still, I guess what I'm trying to say is, be continued active musicians and performers, and just do what they love to do, even if they're not studying it. So if you're someone who's very musical but you don't see yourself doing it as a field of study, a major, or a career, I think BU is like a really great place, because you can continue doing what you love even if it's not necessarily your path of study. Number 14 is great dining halls. Now, obviously I might be biased, but I genuinely do believe that BU has some of the better dining halls compared to other schools I've seen across the country. And so essentially BU has 3 main dining halls, and all of these dining halls have a variety of options. They have a deli station, they have a grill workstation, they have an international food station, a salad bar, a dessert bar, a pizza bar, and of course they have vegan, vegetarian, and gluten-free options for anyone who need it. But also, like, Even just outside of the realm of dining halls at BU has late night options. So like each of the dining halls has like a separate restaurant like connected underneath it, or just like they serve different foods. And those are perfect for when you're like up late studying at like 1 a.m. for your final and you're like, I'm so hungry, I need something to eat. Those late night options are open until usually I want to say 2 a.m. and they're filled with like yummy comfort foods and stuff like that. So they're very fun to go to. But again, even moving off campus, Boston has so many incredible restaurants and cafes and coffee shops that you never run out of nice places to go eat. And literally to that point, just last week, I made a video outlining my top 10 favorite places to eat around campus. So definitely go check that out when you have a chance. Number 15 is that the public transportation is so easy to use. I'm not joking, the public transportation in Boston is my favorite. And for context, my hometown has literally no public transportation. Like I'm talking, we don't even have sidewalks. It's either walk on the road or drive everywhere. But Boston is the complete opposite. It is an insanely walkable city. And I love walking around Boston. I think it's so beautiful to look at all the architecture and just enjoy the weather. But on the days when I just don't feel like walking, or maybe the weather's not as nice, it is so easy to just hop on the train system, or take the city bus wherever I want to go. But now really quick, before we get to the last and final section of this BU video, since it is almost dinner time while I'm filming right now, I thought this would be the perfect opportunity to show you guys exactly how you can send gift cards to your friends and family using Gift Pocket. So I think as like a little surprise, I'm gonna send a gift card to my little sister back home. So it's pretty easy. All you need to do to send a gift card is open the app, and at the very bottom where it says send, hit that, send a gift card. And I think what I'll do is I'm gonna send her a Chipotle gift card because that's like literally her favorite restaurant. And then I'll send her $10. I'll click next. And then you can either just type in their name and phone number, or if you don't know it off the top of your head, you can always just add it from contacts. And I think I'm gonna write, hey, miss you, enjoy, and hopefully she gets some Chipotle today. And then I'll click next. There we go. And for payment options, I'm going to be paying with my GP points that I already have in my pocket. So there we go. Beautiful. We have a $10 gift card on the way to my little sister. I'm so excited. I really hope she likes it. And send. Congratulations, your gift to Kara is on its way. Yay! So sending it has been a success. Look at that, beautiful. I'm excited to see what my sister says. When she gets the gift card, I'll let you guys know. But yeah, anyway, back to the video. Number 16 is that it's easy to get from Logan International Airport to BU's campus. So for those of you who are international students, or maybe you're just flying in from out of state, obviously you could just Uber from the airport to here if you wanted to. But if you want to do something else, what's really easy is that all you have to do is you take the airport shuttle to the nearest T stop, and then you essentially ride the T all the way back to BU's campus. So I obviously don't take the airport very often because I live close enough to drive, but the last time I did fly into Logan, I found out that it was super easy. I was a little bit intimidated at first, but I was like, oh, all I have to do is take the shuttle and then take the T and I'm back. So maybe the first time it might be a little intimidating, but eventually it'll be a breeze. Number 17 is beautiful places to visit by the water. So if you love the water, you will love Boston. There are so many stunning places to visit near kind of like the water side, whether it's the river or the harbor. For example, Piers Park, where I spent my 21st birthday. I love it. It's a gorgeous park by the water. Charles River Esplanade, which is literally right on BU's campus, is just a beautiful walk that you can enjoy, or rollerblade or ride your bike, whatever you prefer. For example, what else? Oh, even just like the Boston Harbor area in general, which is ginormous, but kind of near like the ICA, the Institute of Contemporary Art, or like Seaport, or just like the New England Aquarium area. It's so beautiful. And if you're by the Boston Harbor, actually there's like a ferry system where if you pay for the ticket, they'll take you to like the nearest Boston Harbor islands where you can just hike or explore, or even go camping with your friends if that's something you're into. So if you're someone that loves kind of exploring places near the water, you will love being at BU. Number 18 is lots of hockey. So I will admit that BU does not have a football team, which might be a deal breaker for some of you watching, but there is still a lot of school spirit when it comes to school sports, particularly hockey. So BU has a pretty good hockey team and students get super into it. A lot of students always go to the home games, and even just this past month, February 2022 was our Beanpot Championships, and BU won this year, which was super, super exciting, beating out BC and Northeastern and Harvard for the championship title, and people just get really into it. The Beanpot Championships is held in TD Garden, so it's always a big big deal, lots of festivities. And so if you're someone who really enjoys hockey, I think BU will be a great place for you. You will not be alone, and the hockey games here are just really fun. Number 19 is stores for international foods. So growing up, I always ate Japanese and Nepali food, since those are the cultures that I am a part of. And so I was always going to kind of like Asian markets, small Asian markets here and there. So it's really nice to have international food stores near campus. For example, if I'm ever craving some Japanese food or maybe like mochi donuts or some Japanese curry, I can always go to H Mart by taking the city bus. It's very, very close to campus. Or if I want to kind of enjoy a nice walk, I can invite one of my friends to come with me to Maruichi, which is in Coolidge Corner, and get some maybe Japanese candy or some cute stationery, stuff like that. So if you're someone who really enjoys Asian food or you grew up eating it, there are a lot of really nice international food stores nearby, so you'll never run out. And now last but not least, number 20 is the snow. So if you're someone who's never experienced snow before and you're curious about a true northeastern American winter, Boston is the perfect place to be. So obviously when it comes to places that get a lot of snow, it's gonna be very cold. That much is a given. But if you're still willing to try it, I think the Boston snow will amaze you. And honestly, like anyone who's lived in a snowy place can confirm that snow can be a pain sometimes. But every once in a while, we'll get like a huge snowstorm and it will feel very, very magical. So if that's something that you want to experience, if a very cold, wintry college experience is something that you would look forward to, I think Boston is perfect. But with that, we have finally come to the end of our video. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I hope you guys enjoyed it and learned a lot about BU. I really love talking about BU and reflecting on my BU experience. And as always, if you have questions or want to know about any other particular BU thing, feel free to leave a comment down below and I'll get back to you as soon as I can. But with that, again, thank you so much for stopping by my channel today, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye, everyone!